All right, welcome, welcome. So my name is Ryan Knight. If you are here to learn more about what funding options are out there, namely what grants can work for your business or your nonprofit, you are in the right place. And I do want to say this is usually the best time to ask questions. So I'm going to go through the overall presentation, but please do put your questions into the chat, or at the end, we're going to have time for Q&A. But like I said, this is one of the best times to ask questions about any grant that you might be working on, or if you just have questions about what I'm talking about. All right, so let me up. So as I mentioned, welcome to the info session about funding and grant opportunities. We do these info sessions once a month on the second Wednesday of every month. So if you know others that are asking you, where could they get funding? Where are the grants? Definitely let them know about this info session that we do every single month. A quick just update about as we're on Zoom together. If your name says like iPhone user or Zoom user, please change it to your actual name. So that way when you're asking questions, we know who we're talking to. No need to like turning on your camera is optional. We do ask if you're asking a question, you can turn on your camera, but feel free to be comfortable and just listen in. If you do have a question about something I'm talking about in that moment, feel free to raise your hand. I will do my best to keep an eye on hands raised, but as I'm going through, if you do put your question into the chat, that works as well. That way, when I finish the initial presentation, I'll get to your questions. Of course, we always ask all of us to be respectful and definitely use the chat. Like I mentioned, put your organization, your business into the chat, even your website, let people know where to find you so that we can check out what you're doing. And as I'm going through the initial presentation, you can stay on mute and then raise your hand when you do have a question. All right. And we do want to first start off by acknowledging the first people of our traditional lands. And I would like to begin by acknowledging the indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the effect of residential schools and colonialism on Indigenous families and communities, and to consider how we are and can each, in our own way, try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. All right, thank you for that. And also would like to say happy Remembrance Day that just passed November 11th to those past and present veterans and military service personnel. I want to say thank you for your service. So a bit of background on Empowered4X, who is the host for this session today. So we are a collaborative community that offers consulting, training, and business support, and also physical co-working space. We do have a physical co-working space in Brampton and satellite locations in Scarborough and Ottawa. And we are definitely committed to support entrepreneurs to be top performance leaders and exponentially amplify the difference that you make. So a couple of the trainings that we do have at Empowered4X, we have a social enterprise certification program, and that is going to be launching back in the new year. So stay tuned for that. We do have the mental health standard certification and the mental health supporting youth certification. I have mentioned about the Grant Hunter University. It is where we teach you how to create your own grant blueprint. So the best thing that I've been able to do as I search and write grants is create a template for myself of information that all grants ask for. So with Grant Hunter University, we show you kind of behind the scenes how we write grants and how to create a blueprint for yourself, and also share with you the templates that we use to make grant writing easier. So as I mentioned, prices are going up in the new year. Right now it's $297. So if you're interested, it's the best time to purchase it and then join our grant hunting community as we're out on the hunt for all types of grants and also what other funding might support you in your growth. Also about Empowered4X, we do offer virtual offices. So we try to encourage business owners and especially organizational leaders not to use your home address for your business filings, or especially for like meetings, like on when you register and incorporate your business, your home address is going to show. So we offer a virtual office in Brampton, Scarborough, and Ottawa, and we are expanding so that you don't have to use your home address, so people just don't show up. We also offer consulting services in marketing, grant writing, technology builds like apps and websites, overall management, and building out your business plans. So if you do need help with any of those, we'll put our contact info at the end, which really just an email to connect@empowered4x.com, or going to our website, empowered4x.com as well. We also have a promotional live show with the owner of Empowered4X, Chris Beth Cowie, called BizGrams. So if you're interested in showcasing your business and having a chat about what you do on that show, definitely send us a note and we'll get you scheduled in. All right, don't want to go forward without thanking our valued partners, which range from Alternative Savings, which is our financial institution partner, SETC, the social economy through social inclusion, Sheridan College and their EDGE program, the entrepreneurship discovery and growth engine, also Calabash, which is a cooperative of expert service providers in our community. So if you do need a consultant, definitely check out calabash.global to see their list of expert service providers. ZSC, which is an advisory firm that supports us, our businesses with initial consultations. The Toronto Community Benefits Network, doing great work with creating community benefit agreements so that any construction or developments that are happening in the city are supporting the local residents of that city. The One Full Circle, called our partner organization in Montreal. We're actually going to be in Montreal next week. So if you know anybody in Montreal that wants to come and see the live version of this workshop and talking about funding and how we're going to be partnering, we're going to be out in Montreal on November the 20th. I believe it's that next Wednesday. And Dream Legacy Foundation, who's one of the partners with the Black Innovation Fellowship. So if you are a Black tech founder, that's a great place to go. And also they're connected with Ryerson DMZ. So they walk you through the whole process of getting your MVP all the way to getting your seed funding and Series A, I think they go up to. So you can check out Dream Legacy Foundation. All right, a bit of a spectrum of how you can engage with Empowered4X. So it starts with doing it yourself, DIY. So you can come to these sessions. We have info sessions about either grants or like business plans or marketing. And then we also have Grant Hunter University, which is a go at your own pace online course to teach you how to write grants and do your grant blueprint. In between, we have funding summaries where we can help you research what grants are out there specific to your business organization. We can help you do the blueprint with you. And also we can review any grants that you're currently working on. And also we do grant working groups. So every so often there's a grant that's out there and we want to apply for it. So we do it as a group. We come together so we can ask questions and go line by line through the application so that we can see how to answer it best. And we call those our grant writing groups, our grant writing working groups. But as I mentioned, there's also Modify, making others do it for you, which is really making us do it for you. So if you do need a grant writer, if like the research and the writing is just too much of a, the bandwidth is too stretched for you to do it yourself, we do offer that service so you can get it done. We also help with marketing services and business plan writing and helping you get loans if you needed to get business loans. All right, so today you are going to meet the facilitator, which is myself. We're going to do an overview of grants and loans and how I research them with our spreadsheet. And we're going to let you know how we can help. we definitely want to amplify the engagement that we have with those in our community, because there's a lot of money flowing all around us. So we have to make sure that we position ourselves in front of that flow of money as best we can. And that can be done in a lot of creative ways with partnerships, looking at different grants that you can be a line item in. We're going to talk about a lot of creative things today. So definitely have your questions ready if there's anything that you want clarity on. So a bit about myself. My name is Ryan Knight. I do consider myself a serial social entrepreneur. So I run a company called Detail Ignites, which is a mobile waterless car cleaning company. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. So we do consider ourselves a social enterprise, and we do work with youth in the community to teach them how to start their own business by running a mini version of our company. Service Kingdom is the consultancy arm that helps nonprofits start social enterprises, and also for-profits operate more as a social enterprise, and then helps them get funding for that. We have Executives Power Up, which helps companies that are looking to scale place a stronger executive team in their companies to make them more investable. And Black Panther's Cage, which is a project we're working on similar to Dragon's Den, or I guess a Shark Tank, but think of Black founders pitching to Black investors. And I'm also part of the Empowered for X business crew. So supporting those with that research and what grants are out there, and also helping with operations and marketing sales, especially if you're looking to franchise your company. We help put together those systems for you. And as I mentioned, we're just here to help businesses to increase their capacity so that that can be an asset that builds generational wealth for your family and the community as well. So I did mention I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage your business is in, and then help you create a strategy to grow your companies exponentially. And we did start actually, we're celebrating our 7th anniversary this Sunday. So if you're available, definitely come out to our office, and we'd love to break bread with you. We're gonna have some jerk chicken from GC Jerk, and some of our student entrepreneurs are going to be showcasing their catering. I believe we have some Barbadian cuisine and South African, either South African or Ghana. I have to check with Wangeshi if I think it's South African. So definitely join us on Sunday if you'd like to join. And the reason that we started working with ACBN is, as I was running my company, Detail Ignites, and we were ready to expand and franchise across Canada, we noticed there weren't a lot of Black-focused business organizations that had the mandate to scale up companies. So we brought 6 other entrepreneurs together, said, could we create an entity that would sit down with an entrepreneur, figure out what stage they're in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And thus, ACBN was born. And initially, we were doing more networking events and like info sessions, but we did realize that there needed to be more capacity building. So we were able to start our own microloan fund, and now we've been able to partner with Alternative Savings and partner with the Black Opportunity Fund to get more dollars into the hands of entrepreneurs, and typically those that might have been declined from traditional banking, so that you're able to get the money you need to get those foundational elements done, bookkeeping, tax filings, tax statement or financial statements, and also dollars for marketing. And then using that money to grow your sales so that you can plug into bigger amounts of money. Because ours goes up to 10,000, then we can plug you into the $50,000 program, and eventually into 250,000 plus. Over those past 6 years, we've been able to engage with over 6,000 Black entrepreneurs. But what we're most proud of is being able to partner with the Black entrepreneurship ecosystem. So that has over 40 Black-focused business organizations that can now support you in your business growth. So all across Canada, no matter where you are or what stage your business is in, we can connect you to the right resources that you would need for your business. A few of the pillars that we definitely stand on, of course, entrepreneurship. I feel like that is the foundation of what we do. Is definitely one of the best tools that we have to teach a person to build generational wealth and to create economic empowerment. And by doing that, we use convening. So whether it's virtual like this or in person, like on Sunday at our anniversary event, our 7-year anniversary, we'd love to see you there. it's really a way for us to share notes. And so we're here today talking about access to funding. So we're going to be able to share the notes that we've developed to see if that helps you to be able to get funding that you need for your business or your organization. And I like to show this slide just because it gives a good range of all the different types of funding that ACBN and Detail Ignites has been able to get in the past, whether it's pitch competitions, grants from the city, grants from the province, or grants from the federal government, or donations and sponsorships from corporate entities. And you'll see it ranges from as low as $500 to over $1 million that we got from the federal government. And actually, I have to add more grants to this list because we were successful with a couple last year and one this year. So the money is out there. It's really because a lot of times we don't, I know I don't consider myself an academic grant writer, but I do consider myself a grant hunter. So looking at everything and anything that we qualify for, and then making sure that we get an application in. And then also those that we might not think we qualify for, but we can make partnerships and joint ventures to be part of a grant that maybe even somebody else can lead. And so, as I mentioned, yes, it's great that we're able to get money, but we really pride ourselves on being able to help others get money. So, for example, nonprofits like Rescue Youth International, who was able to get access to the investment readiness program because we supported them in not just the writing, but actually helping them structure a social enterprise that they were able to get funding for. A company like Custodia, who's a for-profit, so on the other side of the spectrum, but they were able to realize that they're actually operating a social enterprise and was able to tap into funding for them as well. And organizations like New Life Project, who's doing great work in Ottawa, shout out to Brenda, but not having the time to research and write grants. So we were able to work with them and unlock, I think, one of the first grants that they had ever gotten, and that was $21,000. But not just getting grants, I would say, in a direct fashion, but sometimes being able to partner, something like what we did with the Seventh Adventist Church. They weren't able to apply for the grant directly, but ACBN was able to apply and be their trustee so that they were able to unlock funding from the government. And also Youth Village, who was able to be a partner on one of our grants so that even though they were just starting out, they were able to get access to funding because they were part of our project. And now instead of starting from scratch, they actually had, I think it was close to $60,000 to start up their program by being in partnership with us. So we are going to be talking more about what grants are out there. We are going to have sessions about business plans and creating that blueprint for yourself. But the reason creating a grant writing blueprint is so important is because now, as you're going to see and get access to the spreadsheet and see that there's a lot of different types of grants out there, you don't want to be starting from scratch with everything that you're doing. So and I remember when I was writing grants with Detail Ignites, every year we were trying to get bigger grants and kept getting declined. And it wasn't until we brought in a grant writer to really review and edit what we were doing. And also we partnered with a nonprofit to then go after the Youth Opportunities Fund, I would say, in a better way, and we're successful. That became the blueprint or the template that we use for a lot of the grants that we wrote in the future. So that's what we try to help you build out that template up front, because a lot of the grants are going to be asking you the same questions. So you can get that done with our guidance. And then as you find grants, you're going to be 80% done with anything that you find, and you can just customize it to what that funder is looking for. So that's why I find it so important to join something like the Grant Hunter University, so that you're not researching grants and then starting from scratch. You can have your blueprint ready to go. So I did want to pull up the spreadsheet. So those that might have just joined us, let me make sure I grab this link for you so that you can follow along in our spreadsheets. All right, I did see a question. How do you help franchise our company? So we connect you if you want to actually franchise it. We have partners that do franchise consulting. We more help with structuring your systems and operations so that you can franchise. But there are better consultants that we work with that if you're ready to franchise, we'll connect you. We are located in Brampton. I will find the link to our anniversary to put in so that you can register. I'll put that in later. So just give me a moment. And so let me check and make sure there's no other questions. All right, thank you, Rosemary. So I did put the link to this page, which is where you can put in your information and you can then download our spreadsheet. This oh my gosh, this video is a walkthrough of the spreadsheet as well. So if you have this link, you'll always be able to, or I would click on it and save it if you want to watch it later. But today we are going to be doing a quick walkthrough. And again, if you have questions about it, please do let me know. So you'll see there's 3 key resources that we use for searching for grants. So one of them is the Federal Business Benefits Finder. So this one, you're able to put in information about your business, and then it shows you all the different federal grants that are available. But also happily, and this is one I'm gonna open up. Apologize, I know I have so many tabs open. I don't know if it's gonna crash my computer. So if I'm choppy, bear with me, but if it's unbearable, do let me know. So we use these platforms. There's another one called Hello Pocketed that you could use. And it's really as a starting point to see what grants might be out there. I'll put this link into the chats if you wanted to follow along as well. But it is in the spreadsheet, so you can make an account anytime you like. And then log in. So you'll see they do break it down from different grants, different loans, different tax credits that you might qualify for. So there was an onboarding questionnaire that they ask you so that they know a bit about your company, and then they would find you different opportunities. They do show you different incubators and accelerators or different competitions that you can join, also training programs and hiring incentives. Looks like they're working on procurement opportunities as well, but it doesn't look like it's ready yet. But if we do click on grants, we can see what is in here for now. So Y Combinator, that is more of a training program or incubator. Same with Techstars. So it shouldn't be showing me those. I want to see, let's see if we put Black. So BKR Capital is the only thing that pops up right now for Black grants. But BKR Capital is actually not a grant. That is an investments VC firm. So if you are running a tech company, then I would look at that one. Let's see what else is showing. So MyTax, I do know if you're looking to hire recent grads or do research, that one's a good grant. See, Aboriginal Entrepreneurship Program. That's why it should probably ask a bit more questions about my background, so it wouldn't show me stuff like that. The Canada Ontario Job Grant is really good if you're looking to bring on staff, but you want them to be trained, or if you already have staff, you can then train them and like you can get them to go through training for specific skills, whether it be one that we did in the past was customer service skills. So being able to then get a grant to cover the training costs, and now your staff is better trained. And what we liked about it is you can do it for staff that you're about to hire, put them through the training, get the grant for it, and then when you onboard them, they can hit the ground running. So this one's pretty good. It does take a bit of it's I would say moderate to difficult, only because you do have to connect with an Employment Ontario office. There are consultants that help you walk through this and guide you, but this one, it is worth it if you want to train up your staff and get the grant for it. Let's see if there's anything else. I've never heard of this one. Southwest Ontario Innovation Center. And something like this CMHC, this one should be like, it should be a 4th skill, like ultra difficult. So if you are going through grants for development with CMHC, that's like building development. I would enlist what would you call them, and a consultant to walk you through. Doing these applications on your own are pretty tough. And I think they have a Black affordable housing fund with a carve out for Black developments. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. All right. So I'm not seeing too many grants. Like last time we were here, the TELUS one was open and they showed the Foundation for Black Communities, that was open as well. I know the starter company for Brampton, that was accepting applications. Actually, that might have been closed in October. The Raise grants, yeah, this one is closed now, so we can delete this. The Foundation for Black Communities, that one just closed. That's where when we go to these grants, we gotta close them out. So starter company, and with starter company, this one is based on your city. So each city does have a economic development office, and typically they would have a small business enterprise center. So depending on the city that you're in, I would check, and it's Ontario based. So check if they have a small business enterprise center and ask them when is their starter company grant launching or if it's already open. I did see FedDev open back their granting. So I was actually going to pull this up because as I was looking through the Raise grant since it closed, it did start to show all the other grants that the Ontario government has. And this is why we wanted to talk today about getting creative with grants that you're looking for. So on the surface, the Ontario government only grants to nonprofit organizations, but we've been able to partner with for-profit companies in order to help us execute different grants that we might be going for. So one that we recently wrote was the Skills Development Grant, which is closed right now. But the next one that we're going to be writing is this Eastern Ontario Development Fund. So this is something, I'll put this link into the chat. And especially if you're for profit, you want to look at how you can partner with a nonprofit to go after this grant. And then as long as you can help them create jobs and build talent or attract and encourage private sector investment, lead business growth and create positive economic impacts and encourage innovation, collaboration, and cluster development. So even though nonprofits have to apply, you can still partner with the nonprofit and be the line item to execute the grant. So this was one that we had done and we were successful with it last year, and we're getting ready to execute it on this year. And we partnered with 3 other organizations to get it done. So I've seen being able to partner with other entities and it be successful. So as you're looking and searching for grants, don't only search for it in ways that you can do it on your own. I find a lot of the grants right now, they're asking for more collaboration, who you're working with. They don't want to see that the grant is funding the entire thing. So you want to find other funding partners. So another one that we were going to be looking at was, where is Violence Fund? Oh, wait, that was a federal one. Let's see if I can find that. Mm. So the federal government had put out a call for funding for violence and abuse prevention. Let me see if I find, I think it was the youth one. Oh, and somebody was asking what website is this? I'll put this into the chat. And also I'll put the Ontario one as well. Oh, I did put, the one above is the ontario.ca website. And this one that I just put in is the federal one. So there was funding specifically for anti-gang violence. Mm. And it was one that initially I didn't think that we would qualify for, but then I realized we are doing yes, the National Crime Prevention Strategy. This is the one. And it's open till December the 20th. So I'm gonna grab this link for you. Oh my gosh, I think my computer is struggling. So something like this, where the federal government puts out a grant for national crime prevention strategy. They want to see applications that help to reduce or prevent crime in our city. So this is where you start to get creative and look at, okay, what nonprofits are already working on this issue? Perhaps you can partner with them, or if you have an innovative way to solve this problem, you can now like introduce that to a nonprofit that might not be writing this grant because they might be overwhelmed and don't have time, but then you can support them with a good idea and then apply for the grant. So, and again, because it is a federal program, the application process is pretty intense. So I would look at, like, you could read through the application requirements, but their portal, it took me a long time. And I was shocked how long it took. It probably took me 20 hours just to get through it because I kept coming back to it. But this is something that typically you might think you don't qualify for. But if you get creative, this is something that you could qualify for. And then you can start looking at all the different other types of funding that the federal government has. When you're looking through here, like violence prevention, family violence, like this is just one segment. Then you can start looking at agri stuff. You can start looking at tech stuff. AI just announced their funding, but I don't think you can do applications yet. But if you're in that space, there's going to be grant funding for it. So this is where you want to start keeping an eye on how you can get creative to be part of an application instead of being the lead applicant. And also that'll save a lot of stress because if you partner with a nonprofit, typically they have the resources to write grants. So you being part of their grant is a lot easier entry point than trying to do a grant yourself. There was a few grants that I took notes of. Let me see if I can open this without crashing my computer. Oh, I think I crashed my computer. Are you able to still hear me? Test, test.
Yes, we're able to hear you.
Still hear me? Okay. I think my Google is about to go kaput. So let me try and reset this. All right. Restore. I do have to start reducing some of these tabs, but they're all important. I can't. Where was notes for grant? Yeah, nonprofit revenue streams. So last night I started researching what are other grants that I typically would not look at that we could possibly be writing grants for, like for ACBN specifically. So we found one here is like Canada Retraining and Opportunities Initiative. Yes, we can help people retrain and find jobs. Foreign Credential Recognition Program. We could be part of helping immigrants that come in get their credentials here in Canada. Early learning and childcare. We work with businesses that have childcare facilities. How can we partner with them to help them get grants and then we be part of those applications? Social Development Partnership Program. Again, they are doing a call out to see what organizations can help spread the word about a survey that they did. Things that you might not think you can qualify for, but if you partner with the right people, you can actually qualify for it. I'm going to put these in the chat, but I was going to update these into the spreadsheet as well. So if you wanted to take a look and see how you could be part of it. Oh, this thing says there's 1,000 character limit. Cool. I wanted to share with you kind of my thought process as I'm on these government websites and looking through, okay, what are different types of funds or funding and grants that we might not have thought of that we can actually apply for. So this is what we'd want you to also start being creative and looking at. And if you find something that you might think that you qualify for, but you don't know who to partner with, feel free to reach out to us, and then we could see if we could be a partner or we might know a good partner for you. So all those I just posted into the chat, I'm gonna eventually get that into the spreadsheet. And as we're looking through, so yeah, TELUS was one that we did a grant working group for, the RAISE grant, which I was trying to get people as early as possible to do this grant because it was pretty much open till they run out of money. So those that got in early, I'm hearing they're getting responses and looking like they're gonna get to the finish line. But if you waited till the last minute, I'm hoping they don't run out of money, but we'll have to see. FedDev was one that we were just showing. CanExport, if you want to do international, if you want to do business outside of Canada, they do have grants that help you with market research outside of Canada in other countries, and also to go to trade shows and be selling and doing research in those countries as well. You can get up to 75% covered. My Main Street was an old one. I'm seeing money start to flow out for this one. American Express, we're hoping that one comes back. And some of the other nonprofit ones. So these ones, that's where I was going to update what we just found. So let me see if I can just put this in while we're talking so I don't forget. All right, so yeah, I'll nice that up later. Let's see. And one thing to touch on is also, yes, we do research a lot of grants, and I'm just kind of going through what you'll find in this spreadsheet. But grants, the timelines for grants is typically not conducive to how you're going to run your business. So it might be 3 to 6 months, sometimes a year from the application going in to money actually hitting your bank account. And that's only if you're successful. So you do want to look at what microloans or loan vehicles or what other type of capital, maybe it's crowdfunding that you could be doing, or investments or angel investments that would allow you to get the money you need to grow your business in the short term. And then any grants that you're applying for, those coming in is all bonus. And that's something that we started learning with ACBN is you can't rely on like the cadence of grants. There's always going to be ebbs and flows. So the more that you can rely on steady income, and that's where we started our own social enterprise and we acquired one. So that income allows us to be stable. And then all the grants that we write allows us to kind of build out from there. Do you have a list of angel investors? I'm so glad that you asked. So right below, so ACBN, we're actually part of the National Angel Organization, NACO. No, wait, that's not NACO. National Angel Capital Organization. National Angel. Uh-oh. I think my computer's freezing again. So yes, on this spreadsheet, it does show a list of angel groups. We're trying to do better at finding like their website and the best contact person. But for right now, we're still in the process of working through that. So yes, this spreadsheet does show it. It also shows, let me see. This is gonna be, it's so interesting. One of our students in our youth entrepreneurship program, they actually build computers. So I'm gonna need him to build us a computer. We will be his first client. Oh, okay, it didn't crash. All right. So Also, another list that we are putting together is a list of foundations. So one thing that we want to start getting better at is connecting with entities that have money to give. And yes, sometimes if you're a business or you're just a regular nonprofit, you typically wouldn't be able to get funds from a foundation, but this is where partnering with charities is really important. And also, they do have something called the oh my gosh, a non-qualified donee. So they're able to fund non-qualified donees now. So if you are a nonprofit or you're partnering with a nonprofit, there are ways for foundations to get you money. It is relatively new. I think the CRA, Canada's revenue agency, just came out with their lawyers speak on how it can be done. So not a lot of people really understand it just yet, but it can be done. So if you align with any of these foundations that you see in this list, I would start reaching out to them and saying like, hey, we're hearing that you might be able to lend to non-charities, would love to learn, would love to connect, and just start those conversations. Because especially with foundations, and when we got connected to Inspirit Foundation, it was really because of a relationship with somebody else that got the introduction, and then you can start building relationship. So they don't typically just lend cold. You do have to reach out and build a relationship. So doing that research to say like, hey, what foundations align with my mission and I should be engaged with them more. So this is a list that you can start with, and we're going to start trying to add to it again, finding contact information so that we can have that on the spreadsheet. Some of the research grants, again, there's a lot of money that gets pumped into research and development, R&D, and typically we do not engage with research grants. So this is an area that we're trying to understand more how to access. We were able to work with Sheridan College and their research department to start looking at what research funding. So you want to start making those connections to entities that do research if you don't do it yourself already, so that you can unlock a lot of these different types of research grants that are out there. And this list, I believe, is just the Canadian ones. And we're going to be doing more research on what other types of grants there are. Kwasi was asking if I'm a nonprofit. Yes, I run a for-profit detailing nights and a nonprofit called the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So that one is a nonprofit. And then arts grants, we're definitely trying to do better at collecting what funding is available for arts and media. It hasn't been an area that we've been, oh, is it blank? Well, we're trying to do better at filling out those options as well, but that is in process.
Ryan, can you make an external contributor grant tab so that if like I found a grant and I can add it there and you can say, oh, this one is being contributed by, and you can implement it into your overall spreadsheet?
Ooh, yes, I have done that before. So by next month, that'll be ready. But if it's ready earlier, I'll let you know. But yeah, we can add that in. You just have to create a form that links to the spreadsheet, and then all the contributions would show. Yeah. That's a great idea. I love that. Thank you. Question from Anne. How are you doing both for-profit and nonprofit? It does come down to the teams that we've built. So the fact that we have a strong team with Detailing Nights and the fact that we have a strong team with ACBN allows me to more just oversee what's happening, although I am quite involved, but it's really like the team, like with Charmaine, with ACBN and Nicola and that team, they are very strong. So things get done. And if it was me pulling all the levers of the machine, nothing would get done. So I would encourage everybody on the call to, at minimum, bring on one other person if you're running your ship by yourself. The more you can build out your team and have them focused on different areas, it's a lot easier to run multiple things. Oh, I did want to just make sure. I close out the presentation. Although the computer is freezing. So I know at the end of our presentations, we always let you know we don't have any specific working groups on the go yet, because we are looking for which of these grants would be a good to kind of write together as a group. Some of the federal ones are very long, so it's difficult to do that in like a 1 to 2 hour session. But what I would encourage is for people to join the Grant Hunter University. I did put that into the chat, really because that's where a lot of the information and behind the scenes templates we put in there. And then a lot of times you might have questions about how to get started or how to word things. Going through those videos really helps you structure what your grant is going to look like. And then after you have your blueprint, we can review that for you. And then we can start talking, okay, what grants are out there and how do we write it best? But you need that foundation. And I find the Grant Hunter University has helped a lot of people just get that foundation. So you're not starting from scratch with anything that you're looking for. All right, so I'll stop there. I did put the link to Grant Hunter University in again, checking if there's any questions. As I mentioned, this is the best time to ask questions unless you're in the WhatsApp group or you're in Grant Hunter University. This is other best. Hey, Ann, go ahead.
So Ryan, you know the Grant Hunters University? I was trying to look for that link in my email, but I didn't see it. So can you maybe resend it to me to get into the Grant Hunters University?
Yeah, I just put the link in the chat, but I'll email it to you as well.
Yes, if you can. Thank you. This was good.
No problemo.
Oh, one more, Ryan. The blueprint thing that you were doing with all that information, are you sending it to individuals? Like, how do people, because I didn't come right at the beginning, right? So I may have missed something because I was jumping out of one meeting to another meeting, and then I came here. So
Yeah, it's the same
that
thing.
blueprint thing, are you emailing it? How are you guys doing that?
Right, we do the blueprint inside of the Grant Hunter University. So that same link will take you there.
Okay, thank
you. All right, no problem. All right, before we close out, any additional questions? Anything that you need more clarity on that I reviewed? Feel free. I was looking for a CFO. Excellent. I would touch base with Executives Power Up. If you put your email into the chat, I'll get you that info. They could help you start putting together that C-suite team. So that I'll send that to you shortly. All right. Was there any other questions that come to mind about either the spreadsheet or, oh, and I'll put in the link if you did have questions that come up later.
I said, can this recording be sent to us?
Right. Everybody that registers, the recording does get sent out. So yes, that'll be sent out.
And this link, I put my email there. If I can get these links that have been posted here.
Okay, no problem. Yes, that'll go out as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Send an email to the connect@empoweredforx.com and then we can confirm that for you, Ryan. That is no problem. All right. Any other questions? If not, happy to give you your afternoon back. But thank you for being present. If you do know anybody else that is struggling to get capital for their business or their organization, do let them know we do this session every month. And yeah, share the contact info so that we can support them. But what best way to support somebody that you know than by learning it yourself? So I would join Grant Hunter University. Then you have better knowledge that you can support people that you know. Is the spreadsheet only accessible to people? No. So the form that you fill out gets you access to the spreadsheet. So you don't have to join Grant Hunter University to get access to the spreadsheet. and I'll put that link again just in case. So yeah, that link that I just put in, that'll allow you to sign up to get access to the spreadsheet. And so that's free. You don't have to pay to get access to the spreadsheet. It's more if you want help to do your blueprint and you want us to review and then be part of the WhatsApp group that is in the Grand Hunter University. Okay, thank you, Wumi. All right. So yes, again, if there's no additional questions, feel free to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And looking forward to working with you, whether it's in Grand Hunter University or as you find grants in the spreadsheet and you have questions, feel free to reach out. But we shall talk soon. All right. Thanks so much, everyone.